Hi everybody, it's Mr. Clegg. So now with part 2 of this assignment, getting ready to do the factor label method. Well, now we're going to play a little game called try to get something to cancel out. So here's an example. We want to cancel an x from 3x over 9. And so we have a choice. We can either multiply by x over 2, or we can multiply by 2 over x. So which one are we going to do? Well, remember that if we want to get something to cancel out, we have to have one in the numerator and one in the denominator. So this one is already in the numerator. So what we need to do is we need to multiply something that's got x in the denominator so that it can have one here and one down below, and then it will cancel out. So we're going to multiply by this one. Now we're going to do it. Now do it and simplify. So now we're going to take 3x over 9. We're going to multiply by 2 over x. Make that a little smaller. Can't do it. There we go. 2 over x. And we're going to, now we're going to see that we'll be able to cancel that out. Top and bottom. And the answer is 3 times 2 on the top. That would be 6. 9 on the bottom, 9. So we can actually reduce that. We can actually reduce that to 2/3. Okay, so we did it. All right. Now, let's do another example. We're going to cancel out s from 2s. So we want to know, do we multiply 2s by s over 3, or do we multiply by 3 over s? And so remember, the goal is to get one of these s's in the numerator, which it already is here, and one in the denominator. So again, we choose the one that would give us one in the numerator and the denominator. Now we're going to multiply 2s. We're going to multiply. Remember that every time you have a number without a denominator, the denominator is 1. So that's sort of, you don't have to write that. Anytime you have a number like 5, it's 5 over 1. Okay, 5 wholes, in other words. Okay, so we have 2s over 1. We don't actually have to write that part. We can just write 2s times, we're going to put 3 over s. And now we can cancel those out. The s is in the top and the bottom, so that cancels. And the result is 2 times 3, which is 6. That's our answer. All right, let's keep going. Let's cancel a t from 3 over 9t. Now we have a t in the denominator, so we want to multiply by which one of these things? Which one would give us a t both in the numerator and denominator? Let's take a look at the second one. 2 divided by t. If we multiplied that together, here's what we would get. This is the wrong answer, but I'll just show you what it does so you can understand this a little bit better. 3 over 9t times, if we multiplied by 2t, or 2 divided by t, then what we would get is 3 times 2 is 6 on the top, and then we would get 9tt on the bottom, which is 9t squared. So instead of getting rid of our t and canceling it, we actually ended up with 2 of them. So that's what happens when you do it wrong. It's no big deal. So we're not going to do it that way. We're going to start over, and this time we're going to choose the correct answer, which is that. Now we have a t in the denominator and numerator. So let's take a look at what that looks like. 3 over 9t. And we're going to multiply that by t over 2. Oh, let's see. Here we go. All right, now we're going to cancel out our t on the bottom and top because there's one on each place. And we're going to multiply across, so we get 3 on the top. 9 times 2 is 18 on the bottom. Oh, geez, come on. There we go. All right, now our goal is to cancel x from 3x over 9t. And so if you want to, you can write this down first. You can just write 3x over 9t. And we're supposed to cancel out the x. So let's see, we have an x in the numerator. So let's look for the thing that's got an x in the denominator. And then we'll use that one because that one's going to work. Okay, so now we have 4 on the top, x on the bottom. Okay. Let's cancel out the x's. And now we have 3 times 4 on the top, that's 12. And down below we have 9t. 9 times t, that's our answer. All right, now we're getting to look a little bit more like what we're going to do in the factor label method. We have an expression here. We need to cancel m from 16m. And that's 16 meters, m for meters. We're going to be multiplying it by this or by that. Now let's see. We have meters in the numerator. Remember that anything without a denominator, the denominator is just 1. So that means m is in the numerator. So we need to find one of these things that's got an m in the denominator so that they can both cancel out when we multiply them. So this one's got an m in the numerator, so that would give us m squared. That's not going to do the trick. The second one has m in the denominator, so we're going to take m, we're going to multiply it by this one. Okay, so we're going to start 16m. We're going to multiply, I'm going to use a parentheses this time to multiply. It's the same thing. We're going to put the 100 centimeters on the top and 1 meter on the bottom. Now remember, the reason why I chose that was so that I could have a meter on the bottom and meters on the top. So meters on the top and bottom cancel out. Let's multiply that together and see what we get. So 16 times 100, that's, well, 1600. I can do that in my head. Then we have centimeters up here. And then in the bottom, we have nothing, so, or we have a 1, so that's our answer. If the denominator of a fraction is 1, you don't have to write it, because dividing by 1 doesn't do anything. All right, let's cancel the s from 30 meters per second. So m on the top and s on the bottom, but this is a speed, 30 meters per second, because this is 1 down here. Remember, if there's no number down there, it's a 1, 30 meters per second. Okay, now let's write that, 30 meters per second. And we need to get rid of the s. So we need to make sure, since our s is in the denominator, we need to make sure that we multiply by something that has an s in the numerator. So let's multiply by this one, because the s is up top there in the numerator. So 60 seconds and 1 minute. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, but first we have to cancel something out. The whole point of doing this, remember, is that we wanted to cancel out our s. So we got our s canceled out. I like to cancel it in a different color when I do these videos because it's easier to see. You don't have to use a different color when you do it. Okay, so we've got 30 times 60. We're going to multiply these together. 30 times 60. Well, 3 times 6 is 18. And then we have a 0 here and a 0 here, so that'll be 1800. You can do that on your calculator if you want, but I can do it in my head, and so can you. Okay, so 1800 on the top. There's the unit of meters there. And then on the bottom, we have 1 minute. Well, I'm not going to write 1. I'm just going to write MIN. So again, this is 1800 meters per minute. Okay, so we just converted a speed, 30 meters per second, into 1800 meters per minute. All right, we'll get to that more later about how we actually do these converting of units using this approach. You'll see that in the factor label method videos. All right, have fun, you guys. Ask me if you have any questions.